Hi guys, quick preview of the upcoming Wolves game against Arsenal. So quickly going to go into the squad news. So press conference this morning with the manager, we have an update that Totti is actually going to be back in the squad. He's not going to be able to play the full game, but he may be able to play quite a number of minutes there, maybe 50, 60, maybe even 70 minutes, and then come off, obviously, due to his injury and bring someone else on. So definitely great news for me. We've really missed him. I think really the defence is the main part of the squad that's probably been the worst. We let in 9 goals in the last 3 games, and we've got to play Matt Doherty there, who isn't a natural centre back. So for me, bring Totti in. He's just going to change the whole back line for me, and he's got obviously a bit of physicality to him. He wins his aerial duels, and he's quite quick. So definitely a positive there. Other injury news: Boubacar Traore. He has been playing in the under-21s. He's going to play again, I think, next week for the under-21s, and he's going to get a few more minutes in his legs, and hopefully he can come back pretty soon and be back in the squad. For me, looking back last season, he did really well in certain games. For Arsenal, he looked like a really good player. He offers something a little bit different. He's a bit more of a DM, but he can carry the ball. He's quick. He can move forward with it. He can make things happen. So definitely interesting to see what happens with that one. Not in the press conference, but I know Sasa is back on the grass, individual training. So hopefully he can get back to squad training together with the group, and then eventually back on the bench and give us maybe a different option to Larsson. We know sometimes Larsson struggles to do the whole 90 minutes, and we know Sasa can be quite good as an impact sub. We saw that with his height, his aerial, he wins his aerial duels, and we saw that against Everton, last minute goal. So definitely a good profile to have on the bench. I know a lot of fans don't like him, but I think maybe for 10-20 minutes it'd be something different to bring on, and we know he can win a header, especially when we play the wing backs. Maybe if we're playing Rodrigo Gomez, them kind of players that can really put a good ball in. He's definitely a player you'd like to have in the box. So yeah, let's go into the Chelsea game. That's everything from the press conference. For me, probably the worst game under the new manager. I just didn't think the attack looked that great. We didn't look like scoring. We did eventually get a goal, but I think it was very lucky. But I do feel like, obviously, with everything that's happening behind the scenes, Cunha didn't have the best game. His probably mind was in a different place. But that was addressed today in the press conference. Apparently, he has had a meeting with the manager. He's committed to Wolves. He wants to stay at Wolves. He wants to win against Arsenal. And it looks like maybe some of them rumours are getting put to bed. So yeah, and Larsson for me didn't have much service, but maybe that's because Cunha was in the right frame of mind. I do feel like we do need to look at maybe changing the midfield. We are playing Andre and Joe Gomez, but maybe we play 3 in midfield against these much stronger teams like Arsenal, like Chelsea. We've got to think that Arsenal do play a third midfielder. I know he's more of a 10, it's Odegaard, but I just think that we may get overrun, that they're so dominant in that area. And we saw against Chelsea, we leave too many spaces. So maybe we can bring someone like Doyle in. It will most likely, with the manager, be Bellegarde, because that's who he favours over Doyle. But for me personally, I'd love to see Doyle in the middle there. He's very creative with the ball, and he obviously can make quite a good pass. He could give good service to the forwards, which we were lacking against Chelsea. So, but the only thing is, if you don't play 3 attackers, obviously it's obviously harder to score. But for me, a game like Arsenal is such a tough game. I think that's probably what you need to do. The defence wasn't that great. It's obviously not going to come to a shock to that many people, but I did think Ignori was a little bit lazy. He didn't drop back as much as he probably should. He was at fault for me for one of the goals. The only person I thought that did okay in the back line really was the new defender and Semedo. I didn't think that Santi really had a good game. I didn't think Matt Doherty did. Santi, for me, he's a little bit too slow. He's a little bit lightweight, and I think it was just hard work. And I think the new defender struggles a little bit because it's not his natural side on the left. So I think maybe bringing Totti in on that left-hand side, maybe bringing the new defender, maybe in the middle or on the right, and maybe taking Matt Doherty out there that isn't a natural centre-back. He's done a bit of a job, obviously due to the injuries, and he was okay to begin with, but I think now we're starting to see that he isn't a right centre-back and really needs to stay either on the bench or as a backup if anything happens to Semedo. But definitely a positive. Totti's back. Hopefully we can change the defence a little bit. Hopefully have a bit more structure in the squad. As for me, I'd like to see a 3-5-2, and that's purely because it's Arsenal, because they're such a dominant team. They're so creative in the middle of the pitch, and I'd bring Doyle in and play Larsson and Cunha up top. So yeah, hopefully we can get something out of the game. It's going to be a really tough one. It always is against Arsenal. To be honest, if I'm doing a prediction, I think we'll probably lose. But usually even though it's a tough game against Arsenal, we usually don't let that many goals in. So I'd say maybe it will be Arsenal 2, Wolves 1. So I can see that happening. But I think it'll be a tough game, and hopefully we can get something out of it. Hopefully we can get a draw or even 3 points. But it's definitely going to be a tough one. So that's everything from me, guys. Make sure you follow us on all socials, Instagram. We're obviously on Spotify. We're going to start doing a new podcast next week. We've just got X. So obviously we had it before. We have decided to do a whole new Twitter X account. So follow us and you'll see it all over our socials, how to add us. And we're obviously going to be on top of all the latest transfer news. So definitely give us a follow, give us a like, and keep on top of those updates. But that's everything from me, guys. Hopefully we can get something out of the game. Hopefully we can get 3 points or even a point. I think we'd all take. And definitely up the Wolves. Bye-bye.